Carlito. I'll tell you a funny story. Well, it is funny. Years ago, many years, that was my 20s, I used to work at a plumbing company. It was called South Texas Plumbing. It was here in Houston. And we were working out somewhere near, it was East Houston, probably near either Deer Park, I think it was. Probably Deer Park. I can't remember if it was a dialysis center or medical center. I remember I had medical gas. And medical gas, when you solder pipes on medical gas, you have to use silver solder. And one of our managers, one of our foremen, had license for soldering medical gas. Anyway, there's a guy we used to work with. It was James Schultz. That was his name. Actually, it turned out he had bipolar. He tried to kill me one time. He tried to stick a knife in me. That's a different story. Anyway, though, he had to go down to the porta can and go to the bathroom. You know, do number 2. So he went down there and hopped in the porta can and closed that door and latched it and sat down, was doing his business. Well, a car pulled up, and I guess they had to go to the bathroom too. And they pulled up, it's a work site, so it was off a was it a busy road? I can't remember exactly the name of the street. It's been years ago. They pulled up. Someone ran out and realized someone's in there. You know, he turned the lock on the porta can. It's a little, you know, it shows red, so it shows it's occupied. Anyway, they went in there and it was occupied, and for some reason they got it, sort of shook it and hit it a couple times, and hopped out of the car and drove off. I guess when you gotta go, you gotta go. Well, we got some bricklayers. They're laying concrete blocks, and I think they're from Mexico. Most of them were from Mexico. They make a great bricklayers. Anyway, he had to go to the bathroom also, so he went up to the porta can, and I guess either he already knew or he saw the red thing, and he's patiently waiting. Now James Schultz, he finished his business, and on exiting the porta can, gave this dude a stink eye. Now he didn't realize that a random car had pulled up, guy had hopped out, had to go to the bathroom, shook the can, banged on it, hopped out of the car and drove off. He thought this dude had done that. So anyway, James hopped out of the porta can, gave him the stink eye, walked on past. This dude went to the porta can, shut it, locked it like anyone else dude. I guess James was kind of timing. Okay, it takes this much time to pull your pants down and do your business, number 1, number 2. Anyway, though, he timed it just right, turned around and got a running start, hit this porta can and flipped on his back. It flipped over door facing up, which is good. If it had been door facing down, that would have sucked a lot more than it sucked already is. To be in a porta can, being flipped on being inside a porta can, being flipped on the side is horrible. Anyone who's never used a porta can or looked down inside a porta can, that is a petri dish of disease and disgust. Anyway, this porta can got flipped on his back. This dude didn't open porta can door, opened him this way, hopped on out like, what the heck just happened? Dude, the other bricklayers up on the scaffold, they come running down wanting to fight James and everything, and this dude was just he's going home that day. Throw the clothes away, you're done with the clothes. Anyway, the foreman found out about it and talked to the site superintendent. The site dude said, don't let James come back out because they plan on killing the dude tomorrow. So sure enough, we went to the office. Every day we start at the office, talk about what job we work on. Well, they try to keep us on the same jobs, from start to finish. That keeps things easy to work on. Anyway, they told James he's been pulled off that job, and he had to go somewhere else. He was upset, and they explained to him it wasn't this dude that shook that can. It was some random car that shook the can, and you just started a war on the job site. These Mexicans gotta kill you, dude. So anyway, that was all of that. He wasn't allowed back on site, and finishing job. I was a laborer, so often I would jump from job to job when they needed someone to dig a ditch or dig a trench or check out some concrete or whatever, whatever needed to be done. That's what I did. But yeah, that's some crazy stuff, man. I'd be upset too. I'd be upset if I was in one of those porta cans and got flipped in my back. Imagine you're sitting on it, you get flipped in your back, and all that blue water, and whatever. If it's brand new blue water, it's not as bad. But if it's been sitting there for whatever the schedule is to dump it, weekly or bi-weekly or whatever. If it's been there for a while, then whatever's coming out, especially a large job site, you get flipped in your back. It's a tidal wave. It is a tidal wave of disgust coming out that porta can. And sometimes I have one guy, he called it the blue goose. He swore he sat down one day and something poked him. I don't know what was going on there. Whew. It wasn't uncommon here in Houston, especially winter months when it's cold outside. Go to a job site and be a homeless guy, three homeless guys sleeping in a porta can. We had one time, we had up on Polk Street, downtown Houston. That was a dialysis center there. And some dude had broke into it. Every night we had to go and ply with the doors up because the homeless people would go in there and try to steal a copper and steal stuff. Anyway, someone had broke the plywood and got inside there. They didn't steal copper. They stole insulation, pink insulation. And we went down to the, I always had to check the job site, check the porta can, and kick everyone out of the porta can because there's always people in the porta cans. There also does steal the toilet paper out of the porta cans. But anyway, we went and opened the porta can up, expect to, rent some dudes off. There was a dude in that porta can rolled up in a roll of Pink Panther insulation. Itchiest stuff you can imagine. He would roll up inside that thing like a tortilla, like a burrito, shoved inside his porta can, trying to keep warm during the night and everything. Oh goodness gracious! I'd rather be cold than repping that stuff. That's all I got, man. I'm in my 20s back in those days. My 20s, yeah. Probably around 1990, 90, 95, 96, around that time period. So I'm in my early 20s. Yeah, 2021, something like that. That's all I got. Peace to let you key.